The art of slowing down, finding your natural rhythm in a world that never stops. Right now, as you listen to these words, your phone probably has 17 unread notifications. Your mind is already jumping to the next 3 things on your to-do list. And somewhere in the back of your consciousness, there's a persistent whisper telling you that you should be moving faster, doing more, being more productive. But what if I told you that the secret to achieving everything you want in life isn't about speeding up, it's about learning to slow down? What if the very act of pausing, of breathing, of moving with intention rather than urgency could unlock a level of clarity, creativity, and contentment that you've been chasing in all the wrong places? Chapter 1. The Speed Trap. We live in a world designed for acceleration. Every app on your phone is engineered to capture your attention faster, every advertisement promises quicker results, and every productivity guru seems to have a new system for cramming more into less time. We've become addicted to speed, mistaking motion for progress, and busyness for importance. I remember sitting in a coffee shop last year, watching a woman frantically typing on her laptop while simultaneously scrolling through her phone, sipping her coffee, and tapping her foot to some internal rhythm of urgency. She embodied what millions of us experience daily, the feeling that we're always behind, always catching up, always one step away from finally having it all together. But here's what I've learned through years of research, practice, and working with thousands of people seeking balance. The faster we try to go, the more we actually slow ourselves down. When we're constantly in reactive mode, switching between tasks and operating from a place of stress, our cognitive abilities diminish, our creativity suffers, our relationships become superficial, our health deteriorates, and paradoxically, we become less productive, not more. The human brain wasn't designed for the constant stimulation and rapid-fire decision-making that modern life demands. Our ancestors lived in a world where survival required both alertness and deep rest, intense focus and peaceful reflection. They understood something we've forgotten, that there's a natural rhythm to human experience, and when we honor that rhythm, we don't just survive, we thrive. Think about the last time you felt truly at peace. I'm not talking about the collapse into bed exhaustion at the end of a 16-hour day, but genuine peace. The kind where your mind isn't racing, your body isn't tense, and you feel connected to something larger than your immediate concerns. For most people, these moments are rare gems in a landscape of perpetual motion. The cost of our speed addiction is higher than we realize. Chronic stress has become so normalized that we've forgotten what it feels like to live without it. We experience anxiety as our default state and call it being motivated. We mistake the adrenaline rush of last-minute deadlines for peak performance. We've convinced ourselves that rest is laziness and that slowing down is falling behind. But what if everything we've been told about productivity and success is wrong? What if the path to your best life isn't about doing more, but about being more present with what you're already doing? What if the secret isn't time management, but attention management? What if slowing down isn't a luxury, but a necessity? Chapter 2. The Science of Slow. Before we dive into the practical aspects of slowing down, let's understand what happens in your brain and body when you shift from speed to stillness. The research is compelling, and it might surprise you to learn that slowing down isn't just feel-good philosophy, it's backed by neuroscience. When you're in constant go mode, your nervous system remains stuck in what scientists call the sympathetic state, your fight or flight response. Your heart rate elevates, stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline flood your system, and your brain prioritizes immediate survival over long-term thinking. This state is designed to be temporary, activated only when you're facing genuine danger. But in our modern world, we're triggering this response dozens of times a day. Every urgent email, every honking car, every notification ping tells your ancient brain that danger is near. Your body responds as if a tiger is chasing you, even though you're just sitting at your desk trying to meet a deadline. The parasympathetic nervous system, on the other hand, is your rest and digest mode. This is where healing happens, where creativity flows, where your best insights emerge. When you activate this system through intentional slowing down, remarkable things occur. Your heart rate variability improves, indicating better cardiovascular health. Your immune system strengthens. Your brain produces more alpha waves, associated with calm alertness and enhanced learning. Studies at Harvard Medical School have shown that people who practice regular meditation known of the most effective ways to slow down actually change the physical structure of their brains. The areas responsible for learning, memory, and emotional regulation grow thicker, while the amygdala, your brain's alarm system, becomes less reactive. Dr. Sarah Lazar's groundbreaking research revealed that just 8 weeks of meditation practice led to measurable changes in brain regions associated with memory, sense of self, empathy, and stress. Participants didn't just feel calmer, their brains had literally rewired themselves for greater peace and clarity. But you don't need to meditate for months to experience benefits. Even brief moments of intentional slowing can shift your physiology. Taking 3 deep breaths activates your vagus nerve, which signals safety to your nervous system. Looking at nature for just 2 minutes can reduce cortisol levels. Stretching slowly while paying attention to your body can reset your stress response. The key insight here is that slowing down isn't passive, it's an active choice that creates specific, measurable changes in your brain and body. When you choose to slow down, you're not being lazy or unproductive. You're optimizing your biology for peak performance, creativity, and well-being. Chapter 3. The Meditation Foundation. Meditation is perhaps the most powerful tool we have for learning to slow down, yet it's also the most misunderstood. Many people think meditation requires sitting in uncomfortable positions for hours, emptying their minds completely, or achieving some mystical state of bliss. The reality is much simpler and more accessible. At its core, meditation is the practice of paying attention. It's training your mind to notice where it goes and gently guiding it back to the present moment. Like physical exercise strengthens your body, meditation strengthens your attention muscle. And just as you wouldn't expect to run a marathon without training, you shouldn't expect to master your mind without practice. The beauty of meditation is that you can start exactly where you are, with whatever time you have. 5 minutes is enough to begin rewiring your relationship with speed and stress. The goal isn't to stop thinking that's impossible. The goal is to change your relationship with your thoughts, to observe them without being overwhelmed by them. Let me guide you through a simple practice you can try right now. Find a comfortable position, either sitting or lying down. Close your eyes or soften your gaze downward. Begin by noticing your breath without trying to change it. Simply observe the natural rhythm of breathing in and breathing out. Your mind will wander. This is completely normal and expected. When you notice your thoughts drifting to your to-do list, a conversation from yesterday, or plans for tomorrow, gently acknowledge these thoughts and return your attention to your breath. This moment of noticing and returning is the meditation. It's not a mistake or failure, it's the practice itself. As you continue, you might notice tension in your body. Perhaps your shoulders are raised, or your jaw is clenched. Without judgment, simply acknowledge these sensations and allow them to soften. You might notice emotions arising, frustration that your mind won't stay still, sadness about something you remembered, or even joy at this moment of peace. All of this is part of the practice. What you're doing in these few minutes is revolutionary. You're proving to yourself that you can step out of the stream of constant doing and simply be. You're training your nervous system to find calm amidst chaos. You're developing the skill of present moment awareness that will transform every aspect of your life. Regular meditation practice creates what researchers call trait changes, lasting alterations in how you respond to stress and challenge. Instead of immediately reacting to difficult situations, you develop a pause, a space between stimulus and response where choice lives. This pause is where wisdom emerges, where creativity flourishes, where your best self has room to show up. You don't need special equipment, apps, or perfect conditions. You need only the willingness to sit with yourself for a few minutes each day and practice the radical act of slowing down. Start with 5 minutes. If that feels like too much, start with 3. If 3 feels overwhelming, start with 1. The length matters less than the consistency. Chapter 4. The Power of Morning Rituals. How you begin your day sets the tone for everything that follows. Most people wake up and immediately check their phones, flooding their nervous systems with information, obligations, and other people's agendas before they've even gotten out of bed. They start their day in reactive mode and wonder why they feel behind before they've begun. Creating a morning ritual isn't about adding more tasks to your day, it's about reclaiming those precious first moments for yourself. It's about choosing to begin from a place of intention rather than reaction, calm rather than chaos, connection rather than distraction. The most powerful morning rituals share certain characteristics. They're simple, sustainable, and personally meaningful. They don't require perfect conditions or elaborate preparations. They work whether you have 5 minutes or 50, whether you're at home or traveling, whether you slept well or poorly. Consider Sarah, a busy marketing executive who transformed her mornings with a simple 20-minute ritual. She wakes up 15 minutes earlier than she used to and spends the first 5 minutes stretching in bed, paying attention to how her body feels after sleep. Then she makes her coffee mindfully, noticing the aroma, the warmth of the mug in her hands, the first sip. She spends 10 minutes writing 3 pages of stream of consciousness thoughts, what Julia Cameron calls morning pages, clearing her mental clutter before engaging with the world. This simple practice changed everything for Sarah. She stopped feeling anxious about her day before it began. She found herself more creative in meetings, more patient with her team, and more present with her family in the evenings. Her productivity increased not because she was working more hours, but because she was working from a centered, focused state. The key elements of effective morning rituals often include movement, mindfulness, and meaning. Movement doesn't have to mean an intense workout. Gentle stretching, a short walk, or even conscious breathing can awaken your body and mind. Mindfulness practices like meditation, journaling, or simply eating breakfast without distractions help center your attention. Connecting with meaning might involve reading something inspiring, setting intentions for the day, or reflecting on what you're grateful for. Your morning ritual should feel like a gift you give yourself, not another obligation. It should energize rather than drain you, inspire rather than stress you. If your current morning routine leaves you feeling rushed and frazzled, it's time to reimagine how you begin your days. Start small and build gradually. Maybe your ritual begins with taking 3 conscious breaths before you get out of bed, or making your coffee with full attention instead of while checking emails, or stepping outside for 2 minutes to notice the sky. These tiny acts of intentionality can have profound ripple effects throughout your day. The morning ritual isn't about perfection, it's about connection. Connection to yourself, to your values, to the present moment. When you begin your day from this grounded place, you're much more likely to move through the rest of your day with clarity and calm, even when challenges arise. Chapter 5. Cultivating inner calm throughout the day. The real test of slowing down isn't what happens during your morning ritual or meditation practice. It's how you maintain that sense of calm and presence as you navigate the demands of daily life. This is where the rubber meets the road, where theory becomes practice, where you discover whether you can truly change your relationship with speed and stress. The secret is learning to create what I call micro moments of mindfulness throughout your day. These are brief pauses, often lasting just seconds, where you interrupt the momentum of doing and reconnect with being. They're like tiny meditation retreats woven into the fabric of ordinary life. One of the most powerful micro moments is the conscious transition. Instead of rushing from one activity to the next, you pause at thresholds. Before you walk into a meeting, you take 3 breaths. Before you start your car, you notice how you're feeling. Before you open your computer, you set an intention for your work session. These tiny pauses might seem insignificant, but they prevent the accumulation of stress and reactivity that builds throughout the day. Another essential practice is what I call single tasking with presence. Our culture glorifies multitasking, but neuroscience has proven that what we call multitasking is actually rapid task switching, which depletes mental energy and increases errors. When you commit to doing one thing at a time with full attention, you not only perform better, you also cultivate the quality of presence that naturally slows down your internal experience of time. Try this experiment. The next time you wash dishes, just wash dishes. Feel the warm water on your hands, notice the texture of the soap, observe the light reflecting off the bubbles. Don't plan tomorrow's meeting or replay yesterday's conversation. Simply be fully present with this simple task. You might be surprised to discover that washing dishes can become a form of meditation, a moment of peace in your busy day. Breathing awareness is perhaps the most accessible tool for maintaining calm throughout the day. Your breath is always with you, always available as an anchor to the present moment. You can use it to interrupt stress cycles, reset your nervous system, and return to center whenever you notice tension building. The 4-7-8 breathing technique, popularized by Dr. Andrew Weil, is particularly effective for quick stress relief. Inhale through your nose for 4 counts, hold your breath for 7 counts, then exhale through your mouth for 8 counts. This pattern activates your parasympathetic nervous system and can shift you from stress to calm in under a minute. But you don't need formal techniques to use your breath as a tool for slowing down. Simply noticing your breath several times throughout the day, checking in with its rhythm, depth, and quality can serve as a gentle reminder to slow down and be present. Creating environmental cues can also support your commitment to slowing down. Place small sticky notes in strategic locations with single words like breathe, pause, or present. Set gentle chimes on your phone to sound every hour, not to stress you about time, but to invite you into a moment of mindfulness. Keep a small object on your desk that reminds you to slow down when you touch it. The goal isn't to be mindful every moment of every day. That's neither realistic nor necessary. The goal is to increase the frequency of these conscious moments, to catch yourself in the grip of speed and reactivity more quickly, and to have reliable tools for returning to calm and presence. Chapter 6. The Art of Focused Attention. In a world of infinite distractions, the ability to focus deeply has become a superpower. Yet most of us have trained ourselves to have the attention span of a goldfish, constantly switching between tasks, notifications, and stimuli. Learning to slow down isn't just about reducing your external pace, it's about developing the capacity for sustained, focused attention. True focus isn't about forcing your mind to concentrate through willpower. It's about creating the conditions where attention naturally settles and deepens. This requires understanding how attention works and why it's become so fragmented in modern life. Your attention is like a muscle that can be strengthened or weakened depending on how you use it. Every time you switch tasks, check your phone, or engage in multitasking, you're training your brain for distraction. Every time you sustain focus on a single task, resist the urge to check notifications, or return to your chosen focus after distraction, you're building your attention muscle. The practice of focused attention begins with choice, deliberately choosing what deserves your mental energy and what doesn't. This means becoming highly selective about what you allow into your awareness. It means creating boundaries around your attention, the same way you might create boundaries around your time or physical space. One of the most effective ways to develop focused attention is through what Cal Newport calls deep work, cognitively demanding activities performed in a state of distraction-free concentration. This might be writing, problem-solving, learning a new skill, or engaging in meaningful conversation. The key is eliminating distractions and committing fully to the task at hand. But deep focus isn't just for work tasks. You can bring this quality of attention to any activity: cooking dinner, reading a book, listening to music, or having a conversation with a friend. When you give something your complete attention, you not only perform better, you also experience what psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi calls flow, a state of optimal experience where action and awareness merge. The paradox of focused attention is that it requires a relaxed alertness rather than tense concentration. When you try too hard to focus, you actually interfere with your natural capacity for attention. The most sustainable focus emerges from a calm, centered state where you're awake and aware but not straining or forcing. This is where your meditation practice and morning rituals pay dividends. When you regularly train your mind to be present and calm, you create the optimal conditions for sustained focus. You develop what researchers call meta-attention, the ability to notice when your attention has wandered and gently guide it back to your chosen focus. Environmental design plays a crucial role in supporting focused attention. Your physical space should minimize distractions and maximize calm. This might mean keeping your phone in another room while you work, using website blockers during focus time, or creating a dedicated space that signals to your brain that it's time for deep attention. The quality of your focus is more important than the quantity of time you spend working. 2 hours of distracted, fragmented work will produce less value than 30 minutes of deep, focused attention. When you slow down and give your full presence to what you're doing, you don't just work better, you transform the experience of work from drudgery to engagement. Chapter 7. Embracing the Rhythm of Rest. One of the greatest casualties of our speed-obsessed culture is our relationship with rest. We've learned to see rest as the absence of productivity rather than an essential component of peak performance. We feel guilty when we're not doing something, anxious when we're still, and ashamed when we need time to recharge. But rest isn't the opposite of productivity. It's the foundation of sustainable high performance. Just as your muscles need recovery time between workouts to grow stronger, your mind needs periods of rest to process information, consolidate memories, and generate creative insights. True rest isn't just sleep, though quality sleep is certainly crucial. It's also the conscious choice to step away from doing and into being. It's allowing your nervous system to shift from sympathetic activation to parasympathetic restoration. It's creating space for your mind to wander, wonder, and make unexpected connections. Research in neuroscience has revealed the importance of what scientists call the default mode network, a network of brain regions that becomes active when you're not focused on specific tasks. This network is crucial for self-reflection, moral reasoning, and creative problem-solving, but it only activates when you allow your mind to rest from focused activity. This is why your best ideas often come when you're in the shower, taking a walk, or lying in bed times when you're not trying to think of anything in particular. Your unconscious mind continues working on problems even when your conscious mind is at rest, but it needs unstructured time to make those breakthrough connections. Learning to rest requires unlearning years of conditioning that equates busyness with worth. It means recognizing that your value as a person isn't determined by your productivity, that doing nothing can be the most important thing you do, and that rest is a skill that must be cultivated rather than something that happens automatically. Active rest is different from passive rest. Passive rest might be collapsing in front of the television after a long day, which can certainly have its place. Active rest is more intentional. It's choosing activities that restore your energy rather than drain it. This might be taking a walk in nature, reading for pleasure, having a meaningful conversation, or engaging in a hobby that brings you joy. The key is learning to recognize what truly restores you versus what merely distracts you. Social media scrolling might feel like rest, but it often leaves you more depleted than before. Watching television might provide temporary escape, but it rarely leaves you feeling renewed. True rest activities leave you feeling more like yourself, more connected to what matters, more ready to engage with life. Creating rhythms of rest throughout your day, week, and year is essential for sustainable well-being. This might mean taking a 5-minute walk every hour, having a phone-free evening once a week, or planning regular vacations where you truly disconnect from work demands. The Sabbath tradition, found in many cultures and religions, recognizes the sacred nature of rest. Whether or not you're religious, the principle remains powerful. Regularly setting aside time for rest, reflection, And renewal isn't selfish, it's necessary for your long-term health and effectiveness. Chapter 8. The ripple effects of slowing down. When you commit to slowing down, the changes extend far beyond your personal experience of stress and calm. Like ripples spreading across a pond, your new relationship with pace and presence begins to influence every area of your life and everyone around you. Your relationships deepen when you learn to slow down. Instead of half listening while mentally planning your response, you develop the capacity to be fully present with others. You notice subtleties in communication, the slight change in someone's tone that indicates they're struggling, the joy in their eyes when they share good news, the relief they feel when they know you're truly hearing them. Presence is the greatest gift you can give another person. When you slow down enough to offer your complete attention, you create space for authentic connection. Conversations become richer, conflicts resolve more easily, and intimacy flourishes. Your loved ones begin to feel truly seen and valued rather than tolerated or managed. Your work transforms when you approach it from a place of calm focus rather than frantic urgency. Creativity flourishes in spacious environments, not cramped ones. Innovation emerges from deep thinking, not rapid reaction. Quality improves when you have time to consider, refine, and polish, rather than constantly rushing to meet the next deadline. Paradoxically, slowing down often leads to greater professional success. When you're operating from a centered place, you make better decisions, communicate more effectively, and inspire confidence in others. Leaders who embody calm presence are more trusted and influential than those who project stress and reactivity. Your physical health improves dramatically when you reduce chronic stress and embrace rest. Lower cortisol levels mean better immune function, improved digestion, and reduced inflammation. Better sleep quality leads to increased energy, clearer thinking, and emotional stability. Regular movement and mindfulness practices support cardiovascular health and cognitive function. Mental health benefits are equally significant. Anxiety decreases when you're not constantly operating in fight or flight mode. Depression often lifts when you have space to process emotions rather than suppressing them in the name of productivity. Self-awareness increases as you develop the habit of checking in with yourself throughout the day. Your relationship with time itself begins to shift. Instead of feeling like time is scarce and slipping away, you begin to experience time as abundant and available. When you're fully present in each moment, moments expand. When you're not rushing through life trying to get somewhere else, you discover that you're already where you need to be. This shift in time perception has practical benefits. You become more realistic about how long tasks actually take, which reduces the stress of overscheduling. You start building buffer time into your day, which eliminates the anxiety of running late. You begin to see waiting in traffic, in line, for appointments as opportunities for micro-meditations rather than sources of frustration. Perhaps most importantly, slowing down reconnects you with your values and purpose. When you're not caught up in the momentum of constant doing, you have space to reflect on what truly matters to you. You can evaluate whether your current activities align with your deeper intentions. You can make conscious choices about how to spend your finite time and energy. This clarity naturally leads to better boundaries and more intentional living. You become selective about commitments, saying yes to what serves your highest good and no to what depletes your energy. You create space for activities that bring joy, meaning, and fulfillment, rather than just productivity and achievement. Conclusion: your journey forward. Learning to slow down in a fast-paced world isn't a destination you arrive at, it's a practice you cultivate daily. It's a radical act of rebellion against a culture that profits from your busyness, stress, and distraction. It's a return to your natural rhythm, your authentic pace, your deepest wisdom. The journey begins with a single breath, a moment of pause, a choice to step out of the stream of constant doing and into the presence of being. It continues with small, consistent practices that gradually rewire your nervous system and reshape your relationship with time, attention, and rest. You don't need to overhaul your entire life overnight. Start where you are, with what you have, in this moment. Notice your breath. Feel your feet on the ground. Soften your shoulders. Take one thing off your to-do list. Say no to one commitment that doesn't serve you. Create 5 minutes of silence in your day. These seemingly small acts are actually profound declarations of your intention to live more consciously, love more deeply, and contribute more meaningfully to the world. When you slow down, you don't just change your own life. You give others permission to do the same. You model a different way of being that ripples out into your family, your workplace, your community. The world needs people who know how to be still, who can think deeply, who respond rather than react, who choose presence over performance. The world needs people who remember that we are human beings, not human doings. As you continue this journey, be patient with yourself. There will be days when you slip back into old patterns of speed and stress. This isn't failure, it's part of the learning process. Each time you notice you've gotten caught up in urgency and choose to slow down, you strengthen your capacity for presence and peace. Remember that slowing down doesn't mean becoming passive or unproductive. It means becoming more intentional, more focused, more alive to the richness of each moment. It means choosing quality over quantity, depth over breadth, being over doing. Your life is not a race to be won, but a gift to be savored. Your worth is not measured by your productivity, but by your presence. Your success is not determined by how fast you can go, but by how fully you can be here, now, in this precious moment that will never come again. Take a breath. Slow down. You have everything you need, and you are exactly where you belong. The journey begins now.